and welcome back to Kyoto Sundays, this time airing on a Tuesday. Partly because I was completely jet lagged on actual Sunday from coming back from actual Kyoto. So I thought it does warrant a bit of an early broadcast, and I thought a good thing to do is to pick it up with a couple of newly purchased GR3 cars, both of which happen to be Ford. And we're going to begin with the third episode of Kyoto Sunday by testing out arguably one of the most famous cars in Gran Turismo, which is the Ford GT race car, the LM race car Spec 2, which is a GR3 car, but you can rarely use it in online GR3 races because it's a bit special. So for example, if you go into the Manufacturers' Cup and you race with Ford, you're not going to be able to use this one. And it's available from the Ford dealership for a pretty hefty 1.2 million credits, which is a lot more than the standard Group 3 cars, which usually retail at 450,000 credits instead. So it's a bit special, but it is tuned to Group 3, so I'm actually fascinated to see how fast this thing can go compared to other Group 3 cars. So straight after this, in the fourth video, that's Kyoto Sundays 4, we're actually going to be racing, or testing I should say, the standard Mustang Group 3 car, which is something you can use in races such as the Manufacturers' Cup. So off we go. The car has obviously been detuned to stock. We put some racing soft tyres on it, and we're going to head straight into the test course, which is Kyoto Driving Park. We'll do 5 laps as normal, and we're going to set the tyre wear and fuel attrition to 5, and that will give us a pretty standard reference to how we're doing. So 7:30 in the morning, and then get the settings on there. So event settings, tyre wear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fuel consumption 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's about that, I think. I'll make sure it's set. Yeah, so 5 and 5, great. So we're not changing grip reduction, we never do. Okay, so 5 laps. Off we go. One thing I'll say with this car, it's very sticky. I use it a bit in some grinding. And yeah, doesn't move a lot. Unforgiving, very stodgy to handle. I mean, it feels heavy, shall we say. You also very rarely need to use the first gear in this car. Not a bad reference lap for one lap. very, very stodgy. Okay, there we go. So we did a 1:32.906 is the best lap. I mean, that was not a perfect 5 laps. It could have gone a lot better, I'll be very honest. But this is the reason we do 5 laps, because 5 laps is a reasonable time for a okay-ish driver like me to get comfortable with the car and to set a good lap. And if I can't in 5 laps, then yeah, okay, a bit of it is to do with me, but it does say something about how easy cars are to drive, and I do not consider this car to be very easy to drive at all. So the quick lap, as I mentioned, was a high 1:32. The optimal lap, which is the bottom right-hand number there, is a 1:31.996. And you can see how inconsistent those sectors are. Lap 1 had a sector 2, sector 4 quickest, and lap 2 had sector 1 quickest, and lap 3, sector 3 quickest. So not consistent. Pardon me. Not consistent, and a little bit messy. And the car, frankly, could have gone a lot quicker, and I could have gone a lot quicker as well. But 5 laps is 5 laps, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. As a car, beautiful to look at, great noise, very quick actually, so when you do grinding races it's a really decent car, but it's just hard work. Very stable. You don't drift a lot, but the thing is, if you lose control, you lose control. Very, very heavily prone to understeer as well. It will just go straight to the corner. Unforgiving, quite bad brakes as well. So I guess, in a nutshell, very quick in a straight line. A great piece of eye candy, but just not great at handling and not great at braking. But I mean, let's look at it. Sorry, completely lost in the change of this car now. But if we just go and put the display on, and let's just fast forward to the final lap. Let me look at fuel attrition. Very heavy on fuel, and not great on tyres either. And I noticed this in the grinding races as well. It's very heavy on tyres, and you're not going to get more than a handful of lap sites on a medium compound, or in this case a soft compound. But it's food for thought. I'm doing these videos to kind of get a feel for which car's best in certain situations. In most situations you're not going to be driving this car, but there we go. It's a good little comparison. Okay, so if we go into the ranking board, it does sit a very comfortable third, but then it makes sense because the number 1 and number 2 are GT2 cars. This is GT3, and it is. So there we go. I'll call it quits on this video, but we will now have a look in the next video at how the Mustang GT3 fares and how does it fit. Will it be third or will it be fourth? See you next time.